But how are you?
Very well. How do I look? All right. So we're recording, and this is call number one for reading the Salon de Femmes. And it's an awesome book by Gary Douglas, founder of Access Consciousness. And basically, salons in earlier days in France used to be these places where men and women would get together and have these awesome conversations. So that's how he started to talk to women and to men and do these classes, which then got compiled as the book Salon de Femmes.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's really like it's a life-changing book because there are so many things that we kind of just just decide that this is the way it has to be in our relationship. This is the roles that women have to play. These are the roles that men have to play. And then when we start to function from these fixed points of views of what it has to be, how it has to be, rather than create a relationship, because there's this beautiful quote that I read a long time ago when I was in school, and it kind of stuck about relationships. It was a relationship is like bread. It has to be made fresh every day. Do you like to have stale bread? But you can do stale relationships like, oh my God, you did this shit to me like so long ago and you pay for it. And that's how we create our relationships. Well, that's another story. So what we're going to do is we're going to start reading. And any questions if you guys have, you can raise your hand. You can ask that question and I'll do my best to answer that for you. So, cool. Are you ready?
Yes.
And who is going to be my reading partner today? Does anyone have the book?
Yeah, I don't have the book.
Awesome. Would you like to be my reading partner today? How are you, Salon?
I'm good. Thank you so much for this call.
Awesome. We're going to be doing today we're going to be doing a little bit of the book, the first chapter. But by the way, we're going to be reading this whole book over the coming 15 days, like Monday to Friday, morning and evening. So 3 days it's in the afternoon around this time, 1:30, and 2 days it's going to be in the evening at 7. Okay, some background noise, so I'm going to mute. Did you hear what I was saying?
Not completely.
Okay, basically, today we're going to be doing a bit of the call of the chapter. And what I was telling you was we're going to continue to read the whole book, so see how it works for you. And just giving you that information that over the next 3 weeks, we're going to be reading this book and doing what we do, a little of what we do today, Mondays to Fridays. Okay, so if you need the details, just get in touch with me. Let's start reading. Okay. So, Chalu, there was some background noise at your end. You think you'll be able to read?
Because I'm not having the book, baby.
Oh, you said you have the book. Who has the book?
No. Show me the cover of the book.
Salon de Femmes.
Okay, wow, lovely.
So who's going to read? I will have to read everything. That's boring. Varsha, lifesaver. Awesome. How does it get better? Cool.
I don't have book. If you just give me 2 minutes, I will buy it on Kindle.
You can while you're doing this. Go ahead. But you're going to be on the series, so you might as well get it because you're going to be my reading partner one of the days, for sure.
Yes. Just give me 2 minutes.
All right. So I'm going to start anyways, Rekha. You can do it tomorrow also. Varsha is reading it today. Why don't you enjoy the call today? But anyways, it's a choice. Do what works for you. All right. So the first chapter is Pragmatic Feminism. So this is Gary Douglas talking. I have one thing in mind, and that's to get you to total awareness. If you really don't want to have that, then you better put up your guard or else I'm going to take you on a wild ride. So for any of you who haven't done any access consciousness before, no, this is going to be a very, very wild ride. We're going to be talking some really, really wild things and some really, really funny things, some really, really serious things. So just throw your brains out of the window and have fun, all right? Okay. So, hello, ladies. For years, Dr. Dan here and I held sex and relationships workshops with groups of men and women. On Thursday night, all the men would come together and get rid of their judgments of women. On Friday night, all the women would come and get rid of their judgments about men. And then they would go out and have a slumber party and build a new pack of judgments. They became judgmental of men once again, and the men were scared to death because they knew that they could have their testicles cut off by these angry women. An operating state of living. I know how many of the men in your life are scared of you cutting their testicles off. So everything matters. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And that's the access consciousness clearing statement that we're going to be using to clear off all the limitations around your relationships. So an operative state of living. Why were the women so angry about the men? Because they had created an operative state of life and living as women. So what is an operative state? When you have an operative state of living, the same thing shows up over and over again, and you wonder why things keep happening in the same way. If you keep having conflicts with men, or if you keep getting bored, or if you keep thinking that something needs to be different from what it is, you have an operative state that keeps things showing up the same way. If you really want to change your relationship with the other sex or with your sexual partner, you have to change the way you look at things. So, Salon participant. Varsha, are you going to read? Can't hear you, can't hear you. We can't hear you. Say something. Nope. We can't. Can anyone else hear her?
No.
Okay. What about your headphones? Can you check? Are they working? Are they plugged in properly? What else is possible here? No, we can't hear you, baby. No? Rekha, could you get the book? No? Okay.
We wish to hear you.
Okay, cool. So I just work it out, Varsha.
I can.
You can. My God, awesome. You're really awesome.
Okay.
Go ahead then.
Yeah.
Varsha, would you figure out? And if you figure out your voice, then maybe you could read in a bit too. Would love to have your voice too. Go ahead, Rekha.
So, an operative state of living.
So we are on page 10, where the Salon participant is saying that I'm always in a fight against masculine and feminine.
Yeah. So, I'm always in a fight against masculine or feminine.
There should be no fight between masculine and feminine. That's what I'm trying to create here. When I did the Gentlemen's Club the first time, so Gentlemen's Club was again conversations with men. This is conversations with women. That is conversations with men that Gary did. So he's saying when we did the Gentlemen's Club the first time, the men didn't feel they had to fight for the right to be men. And they didn't feel they had to fight against women to have themselves. They could just be themselves and women could choose them or not, as they wished.
I feel like I am in competition with men.
So how many of you feel that you're in competition with men, that you have to have a fight with the other sex, that you have to prove something? Well, that's what he's saying. Men did have that point of view. They could just be. But what is it with women that they want to prove that, okay? So that is an operative state when you feel like you have to do competition. An operative state is a place you try to function from. It's a choice you make. You're not willing to have... You are not willing to have something different. You've concluded this is the way it is, and that is the way I will always do it, and this is what's going to happen. So is that a conclusion? Yes. Instead, you could ask questions like, what would I truly like to choose? What could I do or be different that would change all this? How many judgments do you have to put into place to have an operative state? A lot, a little, or megatons. So how much judgment do you have to have in place to function from a fixed point of view that is an operative state that you're functioning from? So all of that and everything that is, will you right now describe and create it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So what's stupidity? And when he says stupidity, in Access, we say stupidity, it means unconsciousness. Okay, it's not, but maybe sometimes you're being stupid too. That's okay. But right now we're talking about unconsciousness, okay? So what stupidity are you using to create the operative state of life and living as a female? Are you choosing? And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, nine shorts, boys and beyond. And what stupidity are you using to create the feeling of a constant state of conflict between masculine and feminine? Are you choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate?
Yes.
Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot, nine shorts, boys and men. And today, if your men are really kind and sweet to you, please don't blame me, blame Gary, okay? Right? So that was a joke, guys. Come on, at least laugh.
So I don't have any men, so
You don't have men in your life?
Now this is actually a joke.
That's Rekha's helping me be funny today. Really, it doesn't have to be a sexual partners only. When you're giving up your fights with the masculine and feminine, it is all the men in your life or the men who want to be in your life but can't because you have this fixed point of view. Like, I am Maharani Jhansi, so you come near me and I'm going to cut your balls off. How many of you have that point? Everything that, and men are really scared. So how many men are scared of you, Rekha?
so many.
This is very interesting. So when I was in school and college, there used to be these guys who would chase me. Like that time, I know that was a fad because we were in like a totally girls' school. Hi, Manleen. And there used to be this boys' school right next door, and boys would always be eyeing me, looking at me, but nobody would come and approach me and say, "Hey, you know what? Let's go out on a date or something." And that kept happening in college too. So I was like, oh, Shalu was there in school with me. So
Yeah, I was imagining.
I know. Then I was talking to a friend. I was like, what? And I could never have a boyfriend. That's a sad story of my life that I really love.
Me too. Very much scared of brother and this and that.
Oh no, not that. So that's not the point.
Okay. Yeah, that's different.
I'm making a different point.
Yeah.
So I was talking to this friend of mine. I was like, what is this? Yeah, these guys keep looking at me. There are some of them who are like really good looking. I could just, talk to them on the phone at least. Because those times in the town that I grew up in, you didn't go out and date. So this girl says, are you even aware how scared they are of you? And I was like, scared of me? Are you serious? Like, nobody dare approach you because they're scared. I was like, you have to be kidding me. She's like, no, really, probably her brother's friend or somebody was in the boys' school and she got to know and she was telling me and blah, blah. Like, really, are you even aware of how scared men in your life are of you? Now, it doesn't have to be your life partner, like somebody you're married to or a boyfriend. It could be even your dad, your brother, your friends. So how much of a control freak are you? Like, how much do you like to control men? Have you acknowledged that? And if you're smiling right now when I'm saying this, then that means it's true for you. Only you haven't acknowledged it. And now everyone laughs. Now that's not a joke, okay? So everything that brings up for you guys, everywhere you haven't acknowledged that you are control freaks, that you actually scare men, that you are actually, the warrior princesses, the warrior queens. Will you destroy and create everywhere you haven't acknowledged that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, Salon participants, break up.
Yeah, so at the end of those processes, you asked, are you choosing? I tend to say that you are choosing. I realize you don't say that. Can you tell me why?
So this woman is asking him, when we are running the process, like, what stupidity are you using to create the feeling of a constant state of conflict? Are you choosing? It basically means it's a choice. You could choose it. So that's what she's asking him. Why are you saying, are you choosing? he says that you are choosing. So another way to run the process is you are choosing. So you say, are you choosing or you are choosing? So Gary says that when you say you are choosing, it justifies your reason for choosing it. It's a fixed point of view. It's like saying, I'm choosing this because. You would prefer to believe you're choosing something for a reason rather than just choosing it. I'm trying to get you to see that there is no reason for what you choose. I'm going to put you guys on mute, guys. If you have a question, please, or if you're laughing, then unmute yourselves because it's background noise. So, so did you get that? So he says, when you say in the process, if you say, what stupidity are you using to create the operative state of life and living that you are choosing, or are you choosing? So when you're saying that you're choosing, you're basically trying to justify your point of view, why you're choosing it. Correct? As if it was reason and justification of why you're choosing something rather than I'm choosing it because I'm just choosing it. That doesn't have to be reason and explanation to that. So Gary says that I'm trying to get you to see that there is no reason for what you choose. You just choose it. That's why I ask, are you choosing? All right.
I love you, Gary. That eliminates so much little energy, no much crap.
I have
So much crap.
another, thank you. Another participant asks,
I have a question. Are men actually mean and vicious?
are men actually mean and vicious, guys? What do you think? Are they? No.
Interesting point of view.
Truly. No, in reality, men are not mean and vicious. Salon participant.
So why does it seem like they are?
Because they have bought the lie that being mean and vicious is masculine. How many lies have you bought about men that are screwing up your lives? A lot, a little, or megatons? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So how many lies about men have you bought that are locking up your life and living? Have you bought lies about men? Do you have points of views about what men are, how they should be? Like, how many times do you say, oh, men are always like that? They always do this kind of a thing. So those are your judgments there. So is that true? Are all men like that? Or is it a lie that you bought? And when you buy a lie about somebody, when you go to the point of view that they are like this, then how much can you actually receive from men? If you think they're mean and vicious, can you receive from them? You can't.
No.
You can't. So because you've decided, I don't want to go near them. They're mean and vicious. They hurt me. They're like this. They're like that. So if you have a point of view, like, are women not like that? Some women are, some women aren't. Some men aren't, some men aren't. So we're not asking a question. We've decided that men are like this, and that's a judgment. And a judgment about anything, about anyone, ends up you screwing your life over and over again. Everything that is, and all the lies that you bought about men, about how they are, what they should be, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong,
Yes.
bad, pot and talk, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And there you go. You just destroyed and uncreated men are with. Okay? All right. Salon. You're not
My
wishing
dad was
anymore. Okay.
so my dad was supportive of me going to a good college and getting a good internship. Yet he ridiculed women. He laughed at women who were crying. And when my sister was dying, he chose not to go to see her. I developed a really skewed idea of what men are.
Did you get that, guys? Somebody's asking him that her dad was supportive, not supportive at all. And when the sister was dying, he did not even go to the hospital. So this woman developed a very skewed idea of what men are. Skewed is twisted idea. So Gary says, well, pretty much everyone does that, even men. What stupidity are you using to create the conflict between male and female are you choosing? And that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, good and bad, pot and pock, online shorts, beyonds. Okay.
So
Salon.
if one side is maintaining the conflict and the other side is in interesting point of view about it, does that have the capacity to diffuse the conflict?
Did you get the question, guys? Okay. So somebody's asking him that if between men and women, if one side is maintaining the conflict? Like how many times you have a fight with somebody, with your partner in marriage, or with the man, with your brother, or with your friends who are boys, or your dad, whoever is the guys in your life. So we're basically talking about here, particularly about the person you're married to, but you can apply it to the other men in your life too. So if one side is maintaining the conflict, like one side says, no, you're wrong, and he wants to maintain the fight, but the other side, so two people in a relationship, if the other person does not want to maintain the conflict, as in there's a tool in Access called interesting point of view, which means that if somebody constantly tells you that you're wrong, you shouldn't be doing this, and I'm right, and gets angry or gets upset or tries to control you, and you are constantly using the tool of interesting point of view, they have this point of view, which means that you're not judging them, you're not judging yourself, you're like, okay, this is what they think, and that's what it is. It doesn't mean anything. That is the tool of interesting point of view. Okay? So this lady is asking him that if one side wants to maintain the conflict and the other person can be interesting point of view, does it diffuse the conflict? Now, did you get the question?
Yeah.
So Gary says it diffuses the conflict to a certain extent, but it doesn't keep the relationship going in the long run. I did that with my ex-wife. I would go into interesting point of view. I would not be in conflict, so there would be no conflict. But that didn't change anything in her world. The problem is that most women, rather than seeing a man for who he is, have the point of view that if they change him, he will turn into a good man. So how many of you have the point of view that if you change the man in your life, he will finally become a good man? And everything that you're laughing because you're doing it. Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right from Good Bad Pot Pok Online Shows, Boys and Beyond. So how many times have you taken a man and seen him as the perfect picture? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Good Bad Pot Pok Online Shows, Boys and Beyond. When you got married, it was all perfect. You were perfect. He was perfect. We don't have any men on the call, do we? So you can actually start to see how your women are treating you guys. If there is any guy who's listening to this, okay, and if this is what's happening, you can use the tools to probably the clearings will work on your relationship too. I'm sure they will actually.
Let me invite some guys tomorrow.
Sorry, what? Yeah,
Let me
do that. Tell them there are going to be lots of interesting women on this call series. You might find somebody interesting. So come on, join in. Okay. Yeah. So when you met and when you got married, everything was perfect. But slowly, as you started living together, you started to see how he was not so perfect. You started to see how you were not so perfect, and then you started building judgments about each other till the sex and the relationship, poof, went out of the window. How much of that is true for you? And if you can let go of your judgments today, you might have awesome sex tonight. Or, I don't know, in the day. Everything that brings up, will you destroy it?
Oh my God, you are really too hilarious.
No, I'm not kidding. I mean, I meant it. I'm sorry. This was not a joke.
Yeah, that's also people's choice. I said you're too hilarious to be digested.
All right. I mean, you're too hilarious too?
To digest.
Digest it.
To digest. Awesome. I will receive that. All right. So, yeah, because Gary says, we try to change things by making them significant, by making them real, by shedding tears. But what if you change things lightly, with laughter, with joy, starting to see where you're functioning from these operative states? These are all operative states, right? So when you try to see the man as perfect, when he tries to see you as the perfect woman, those judgments eliminate the places where they will not be able to see the imperfect side of you. And when those are parts of you too, right? Of both of you in the relationship, both the people. But you're willing to see the good, bad, and ugly of everything, then you can ask more questions of how can I make this work? And if it's not a contribution to you, then why are you in the relationship anyway? Right? All right. So the next topic is choosing a man you want to fix. Wait, none of you have done that. So do you want us to read that? Choosing a man you want to fix? Okay, Salon participant.
I have a question about that. What is it that creates the dynamic of choosing a man you want to fix or change?
So as a kid, you were taught that you had to be a good bad boy. All romance novels, all you women who've read Mills and Boons, by the way, all of you who've seen all those Amitabh Bachchan movies, where or the bad boy movies where the woman marries the Gunda, Govinda movies, and turns him into a nice guy. So they are about a man, aren't they?
Oh, yes, that.
Yeah, all of them are about this rich, handsome guy who is evil and bad, but basically inside he's a very good person, and he falls in love with this woman who will turn him into the fantastic, best, lovable guy he is. And how many of you ended up getting married thinking that that's what you have to do to fix the man you're getting married? Like, did you fantasize when you thought you were going to get married to, oh my God, I'm going to change him with all the love in my heart? And did you?
No.
That brings just to an answer.
Oh my God.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shorts, boys and beards. I see all the women laughing. Everybody's done it. Very interesting. So everywhere. So that's what he says, that all romance novels are about a man who's considered a bad boy, and because he falls in love with you, you tame the beast in him, and he is your lover. So everywhere you're trying to tame the wild beast, will you destroy an uncreated God?
Yes.
Bad pot, pock, online shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, another one. Salon participant.
So, is it also about saving him? I can help him, I can fix him, I can make him better. Is it a mother thing, a mother instinct about saving?
Ew, right? It's not a mother thing. It's a female thing. Oh no, that brings up visuals, doesn't it? Everything that is. Will you destroy an uncreated God?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shorts, boys and beyond. So you have been taught that your job is to be a support and to sit behind the throne, not beyond the throne. It is to be in charge without being in charge. You're supposed to pretend that you're just a sweet young thing who doesn't know anything. These roles given to women are not true. They have nothing to do with what a true woman is. And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shorts, boys and beyonds. So someday my prince will come. Do you ever look at these things and say, that's nuts. Why would I choose that? Some of you do. You say, never mind, I won't even bother to have a relationship. Others of you say, well, someday the right man will come. Someday my prince will come and take me away from being Cinderella. Everything that is Simon Virgilian will be shown on Creator.
Yes.
Yes.
With that, for online shows, boys and men. So, how many of you don't want to get into a relationship because of all of these roles that you've been given, because of all the points of views that you have about men, about what you're supposed to do as the woman in relationship? You're like, forget this. I don't even want one. I don't want to be in relationship. Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate all?
Yes.
Yes.
With that, for online shows, boys and beyonds, and everywhere that you're waiting for your Prince Charming to come, you're the Cinderella and you're doing, my God, I'm suffering so much. My prince is going to come and save me. Has he come yet? Even if you're married like for 15 years or 20 years, has your Prince Charming come yet? Everything that is. Will you just it all? So bad news, girls, there is no Prince Charming. Okay? I'm so sorry to break it to you, but there is no Prince Charming. So everything that is, will you just it all?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
so that's what for call and shorts, boys and beyond. Okay. Salon participant.
So, what if you have both of those going on at once?
So both of those going on at once means you're also waiting for your Prince Charming, and you're also saying, I don't want to have a relationship. What if you're doing both? Most of you do have both of them going on at once. You are taught that this is how it's going to be. Eventually, the right man will come along, and everything will work out. No, none of that is real. Would you, as an infinite being, have only one true love? Oh my God, this is going to scare you a bit, but don't worry. We're going to poke and pod that too, okay? So, would you, as an infinite being, have only one true love? Salon participant. Avantika, what happened? Suddenly you realized you don't have one true love, you have many, many, many.
This is good fun.
Yeah, you don't have one true love, guys. It doesn't make sense. Because as an infinite being, you would have oneness as the thing you desire, not one as the thing you desire. Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, where did you think you can have only one person in your life? And I'm not asking you to go have sex with multiple people. I'm sorry, that's not what this means. Okay? That's a choice. Everything. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Boys and beyond. Let's read on and see what he says. As a kid, you are taught that there is only one true love for you. You are taught that someday you will find your prince. Someday the right man will come along and he will love you the way you should be loved. And someday everything will be perfect. Someday never arrives because someday is never today. Someday is something that has never existed, will never exist, and can never exist. How many somedays are all of you still trying to bring to fruition? And everything that is, will you destroy and unfavorable?
Yes.
Yes.
So, are you beginning to notice a lot of charge on this area? Do you have this someday thing?
Yes.
Someday. By doing that over and over again, you're just pushing it into the future. So, it's always going to be
Oh.
the future.
Oh my God.
Never going to be today.
Yeah.
Right? So what choices are you not making because you're waiting for that someday that's never going to be today or any day in the future? And everything that is
Too much. Yeah.
right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So do you get it? Some
Yes.
every time you say that, one day, someday, you got to stop at that point of time. And
When I will, this, then.
yeah, yeah, right? So how many somedays are all of you still trying to bring to fruition? Fruition means bring it to now, this now moment, like bear fruit. So when you try to bring it to fruition, it cannot come to fruition because it always exists in the future. So everything that is will you destroy and unfair it.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So how much charge do you have on this someday thing? What is it bringing up for you guys? Anyone has anything there? Is it making sense to you? Whatever we're
Yeah.
talking about?
Whatever is to be done now, today.
Ah, choose. That is what the power of choice is. Don't wait, create.
Yeah, choose and bring it into action also.
Yes, so you have to take certain action steps. And
Yeah.
what action steps are you not taking that will bring to fruition whatever it is that you have decided has to be someday? What if it could be today? And if
Yeah.
it's going to be today, what action step can I take in the
Yes, exactly. Yes,
okay?
yes,
So this stuff maintains the insanity of this reality, the conflict between male and female, the idea of relationship and marriage, the idea that sex is supposed to be beautiful, wonderful, blah, blah, blah. In reality, does any of that exist? Does it? So how many of you have
Sometimes.
friends coming and talking to you about like sex jokes and talking about how awesome sex is, and you think you're the only one who doesn't enjoy sex? You think you're the only one it's not as wonderful for because everybody else is having fun. But is that really true? It's like how people talk about how much money they have. So why would you talk about all the money that you have if you really had it? And the same applies for sex. I am sorry. So you're not the only one. It is just the insanity of this reality. Here we are believing that the other person is having too much fun in the bedroom. But is it really true? I'm not so sure. Ask a question there, okay? So what stupidity are you using to create the non-existent sex life, romance life, marriage and relationship that never existed in any reality are you choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
yes,
Right, wrong, good, bad, good, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. What stupidity are you using to create the non-existent sex life, romance life, marriage and relationship life that never existed in any reality are you choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
yes,
Back for all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what stupidity are you using to create the non-existent sex life, romance life, marriage, and relationship life that never existed in any reality are you choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
yes,
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pop, shorts, boys and beyonds. It's like you never ask a question. You go to, he is so beautiful, wonderful, and kind. But you never ask, is this really going to work for me? So all you girls out there and all you boys out there, if you're going to get into a relationship, please ask, You look at a person and you say, wow, they're so wonderful. But also ask, is this really going to work for me? Because there might be some really great things about them which might not work for you. Okay? They're great, but they might not work for you. So ask a question before getting into a relationship, even before getting into bed with someone. Is this really going to work for me? Okay? And for them too. Is it going to work for them? Because if it doesn't work for them, it won't work for you. It's a 50-50 relationship. So you have to ask, is it going to work for them? Am I going to work for them? Are they going to work for me? And only then, and all of you who've already entered a relationship, we have different questions for you. Okay? Right? Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. So you come to a conclusion about what you're supposed to have instead of choosing what will actually work. I want you to be the pragmatist of femininity, not the fighting Irish, the fighting Nordics, the fighting Vikings, the fighting Hispanics, and every other nationality of women you think you have to be. Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online shows, boys and girls. So everywhere you think or you were told and you bought that lie and you're functioning from that operative state that I have to fight to prove that I'm a woman. I have to fight to prove that I exist. I have to fight to prove something. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? You don't have to fight.
Yes.
Did I just take away a job from you? Like, oh my God, here I was so busy fighting. And now she tells me I don't have to fight. Now what am I going to do? Oh my God. Is it like that? So everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad,
Awesome.
good, book, online shows, boys and beyond. So find another job. Stop fighting. Okay? Salon.
Yes.
Rekha.
I also feel a constant conflict, a constant fighting between man and woman. It keeps me in a constant conflict with me.
Okay, constant conflict. So how many of you are functioning from constant conflict? Between man and woman, between man and man, between woman and woman, between woman and man. So all of that, will you destroy and uncreate all that constant state of conflict? And have you made that your operative state? A constant state of conflict. Have you created a constant state of conflict as your operative state of living? And
Yes.
yes. Now one honest person. Thank you. And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shorts, boys and beyonds. Yes, says Gary, because you have been a man and a woman. So how many lifetimes have you been a man if you're a woman now? And how many lifetimes have you been a woman if you're a man now? So what did you get? And that's in your head, and that's true. So if you've been a man and woman, so if you have a conflict with a man, then are you basically fighting yourself? Because you have been that energy too, correct? So how many times do you end up fighting with the other person and it seems like it's a conflict with yourself? Now you know why. Hello. All things should be available to you. There isn't anything you haven't been or done in one lifetime or another. Everything that you have ever been or done should be accessible to you. But in an attempt to define yourself as a man or a woman, you cut off half of what is available to you. If you define yourself as a man, you have to cut off your feminine side. If you define yourself as a woman, you have to cut off your masculine side. You buy into points of views about men and points of views about women so you can define who you are. But those definitions have nothing to do with you, the infinite being. You get it? Isn't it awesome? I love it. Like,
I love it too.
it's awesome. How many times have you been told, oh my God, you're behaving like the man of the house? Like if you are going out and doing stuff that's creative, that is even slightly aggressive by this reality standards, people will tell you, you're being like a man or a boy. Or if you dress differently, if you don't put on makeup, or if you don't wear, clothes that are more masculine, then you're told. But then to prove that you're a woman, you have to do the exact opposite. You have to either resist, react, or you have to align and agree. And in all of those things, you're just defining you. You're putting judgments on yourself. And when you define you, can you actually be all of you? And when you are not being all of you, which could be masculine or feminine, depending on a choice, today I would like to go out and play golf. Does that make me a man? Today I would like to wear a sari and go out and just be seductive and nice and beautiful. Does that make me more of a woman than a man? Or if a man who is like, so many sexualities are disregarded, judged, men who want to dress up as women, sometimes, they have their own sexuality, but they're judged. And so they have to go into depression, they have to go into proving something. How many of us have had lifetimes like that? How many of us are aware of the judgments and we don't want to go there? So everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? The right or good, bad, for online thoughts, boys and beyonds, right? So any definition that you have about you as a woman or as a man, talking about all that, right? So another thing you can do is get up in the morning every day and talking about all the definitions that you have of you as a man, as a woman, as anything else. All right? Okay, Salon participant.
Yeah, it's like I'm fighting against men and I go into wrongness of me for doing that.
So what stupidity are you using to create the conflict between male and female? Are you choosing? Everything bad, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shorts, boys and beyond. What stupidity are you using? Okay, cool. So what stupidity are you using to create the conflict between male and female? Are you choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shorts, boys and beyond. So if you were a male in your lifetime and you thought being a female is easier and better, and you come into this lifetime as a female, you'll say, wait a minute, it's not easier being a female. It's better being a male. And then you go into conflict with your decisions and your choices, which gives you how much?
0.
0. And how much judgment does it give you?
Megatons.
Megatons, beyond megatons, beyond megatons. Everything that is, you destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online shows, boys and beyond. Does it make sense to you?
Yep.
Yeah? So do we go on to the next topic? You might like it. Homage to relationship versus homage to vagina. And everything that just saying that word brings up for you guys, will you, or listening to that word, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Some good, bad, pot, pock, online shows, boys and girls. Like, have you ever said the word out aloud, vagina? Have you done that? We can do it now. I give you permission.
Vagina.
Yay! Everything.
I know. Seen that serial? 4 more shots, please.
What? Sorry?
There's a serial, 4 more shots, please. All the 4 friends shout aloud. Hello, my vagina. How are you?
Oh, I got to see this one.
Yeah, 4 more shots, please. For freedom. For freedom.
Netflix thing or a Star Wars thing? Where?
Amazon, Amazon Prime.
Oh, I have to get Amazon Prime now. I haven't.
Yeah, Netflix. On Netflix. Yeah,
It is
Amazon
on-
Prime.
Okay, cool. I will figure out Amazon Prime too. Is there a comment here? I see.
That's awesome. You must see that.
I will. Thank you. Okay, Rekha, somebody requested you to speak a little louder when you talk. Somebody said in the chat, Rekha, can you talk a little louder, please? Can you shout out vagina for us, please?
That I can do.
Okay. So one of the things I want you to get from this Salon de Femmes is to be able to have your feminine side without the necessity of making it a problem with men. Nothing to, yeah. Like this is just, I'm doing a call series right now, which is where we're talking about these things about body and how you should be dressing up or what points of views you have about how you're looking. And you look seductive and sexy because you have points of views of how men are going to judge you or look at you or lust after your body. So how many of you don't allow yourselves to be feminine because it's going to create a problem for you? So everything that is, we decided that it's going to be a problem with men. So you wouldn't allow yourself to be entirely feminine too. Like, how does that work? You can't be masculine, you can't be feminine, then what can you be? Oh my God, like what does that leave you with? So everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shows, boys and beyond. Nothing should be a problem with men. Everything should be a choice. Have you ever considered that you dressing up beautifully and looking good and nice and sexy and seductive might change people's worlds too? When they look at you and they see beauty, would it change? Like when you look at a beautiful flower, does it change something for you?
Yes.
So you get the point, right? I see Ramya smiling very productive. You get it. Everywhere you're not allowing yourself to be entirely feminine, productive, sexy. Whatever it is that you think is a wrongness, that would change people's worlds. That would create more beauty on the planet. Would you destroy and uncreate that too?
Yes.
That's all that pot on shows that it's never going to be a problem with men. It's a problem with you, so you got to pock and pot it, okay? They're going to like it. Trust me. Right? What stupidity are you using to create the eternal homage to relationship are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy now, creator?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shorts, boys and beyond. And men here can run. I don't see any men here though. Is there any guy here? There's a clearing for you too if anyone's here, and all the people who shut off their cameras, and know that anybody who doesn't turn on their camera doesn't make money. Okay? So turn on your camera if you want to make yourself some money. Alright? Show up. What stupidity. So this is the men's version of the clearing. What stupidity are you using to create the eternal homage to vagina are you choosing?
Oh my God.
That is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Thanks, right, wrong, good, bad, part, pog, online search, boys and beyond. Might run for you too if you were a man in a previous lifetime and you're still paying eternal homage to vagina. Okay? Right? So did you get that? And I'm going to be sending this recording out on the email if you're on my newsletter. And I'm going to be recording a clearing loop for whatever we've done, and I'll send it out to you guys. If you sign up for the newsletter, you get the recording and the clearing loop. So both sides of this are playing on everybody. That creates a lot of opposition. You want him to worship your vagina, and you want to worship your relationship. So did you know why why men get into relationships? Do you know that?
No.
They get into seriously? They get into relationship for the sex.
For sex, yeah.
What are
Okay.
you saying?
Yeah. Okay.
And what do women get into relationship? Oh, why do women have sex? For a relationship?
I think for
The relationship. You got it, Rashmi. So, men are doing...
Not always.
All right, interesting point of view. I'm not going to argue there. That's okay. Not always.
gosh.
Totally. But look at the chart. Was it light for you when you said not always, or was it heavy for you? So it's your point of view. That's what's creating for you, your point of view. Okay. So if it's working for you, please hold on to it. But if it's not, then you can run these clearings. That is one of the reasons why you see relationships not working very well. Because you're doing relationship, they're doing sex, or you're doing sex, they're doing relationship. Either ways. If that is going on, then there's going to be conflict. But if you know what is going on there, then you might be able to change it, right? So women are trained to the idea that everything is about relationship. Your relationship to your kids, your relationship to your spouse. Women and men are worshipping different gods and wondering why they can't get it together. So what stupidity are you using to create the eternal homage to relationship are you choosing? Everything that is times a god. That's why he's calling it homage, by the way. You do know what homage means, right? It's like we are worshipping relationship. They're worshipping vagina. And they're different gods. Okay? Right. About what do you mean, Ramya?
So just the conversation that we were just having.
Yeah. A little louder, please.
Yeah. So just the conversation we were having that men do sex, men do relationships for sex, and women do sex for relationships.
Yeah.
And I totally see that. I do that also, and I want to change it.
So change it.
Right. Okay. Just like, what question can I ask you to change it?
What stupidity are you using to create the eternal homage to relationship are you choosing? And what stupidity are you using to create the eternal homage to vagina are you choosing? The thing that is, will you destroy and create all? I don't know that part for online shows, boys and men. So run those on a loop, non-stop. Record those, put them on a loop, and run them non-stop. And you will start to see where you're functioning. So that is your operative state, right? So I agree with whoever said that it's not always the case, but mostly it is the case. And a lot of people have spoken about it, and you can see it in your relationships too. Because it's just the way men are, and it's built, and it's just the way women are built. It's about physiology. It's biology, actually. That's the way we're built, and that's the way we're trained as we're growing up. Find the right man, get married, settle down, have children, and then what? Like now, if you have children, now what? Like that's what your parents wanted you to do. Now you've done that. So now what? And suddenly you find like, what the hell? I've wasted 20 years on being, committed to this relationship, it isn't at all what I thought it was. So how many of you have relationships that are exactly what you thought they would be when you actually got into them? Even one. Right? So you see, that's an operative state. So that's what he's saying, that men and women are functioning from different operative states. They're functioning, worshipping different gods, and then you want it to work. Okay? So these are the two clear rings that you can run. All right? So, Salon participant, Rekha, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So is there also an eternal homage to not having relationships, or is that a different side of the same coin?
Yes, it is a different side of the same coin. Eternal homage to not having a relationship. If you're doing homage of any kind, you're not being present with choice, possibility, and question. We have to get rid of homage to relationship, either for or against, and we have to get rid of the homage to vagina, for or against. Both of them create a problem where you end up with an oppositional point of view. So even if it is like, no, men don't do always relationship for the vagina, that is also a resistant point of view. Okay? Or I'm not
Right.
yeah, you get it?
Yeah.
So what stupidity are you using to create the eternal homage to relationship are you choosing? Everything that is times a gazillion will you destroy and create?
Yes.
I think with that what for nine shows boys and beyond. And what stupidity are you using to create the eternal homage to vagina are you choosing? Everything that is will you destroy and create.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, for and for sports, boys and beyond. Okay. Salon participant.
Gary, the second question. What stupidity are you using to create the eternal homage to the vagina are you choosing? Is strong for me. Can you please explain?
At some point in some lifetime, you probably decided you wished you had a vagina. Okay?
Me being a man in that lifetime?
Yes, the whole idea of being for or against a point of view is hysterically funny to me. There isn't anything you haven't been or done in one lifetime. So, what constitutes masculine and feminine anyway?
That was my next question.
Well, I've got a process for that too. What stupidity are you using to create you as the concubine of messed reality, physical reality, ecological insanity? Are you choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. When you make yourself a concubine, it's like being the mistress of the messed reality. What is messed reality? It's the matter, energy, space, and time reality, which binds you to this reality. Physiological reality and psychological insanity. Because in this world, don't you become a slave and servant to that? Of how people want you to behave, of how you should dress up as a woman, all the roles that they give you, all of that is basically the psychological insanity of this reality. And you become a slave and servant to that. It's like the creation of sex to most people. For instance, how many times have you had a relationship with matter, energy, space, and time reality that has been joyful for you? How many of you have had a relationship that has been joyful? Has it been joyful all the time? Hardly ever. And how many of those relationships have been about your physiological reality? How many of the people you have had sex with actually enjoyed sex? How many of them think that you are beautiful, wonderful, and fabulous because you are?
Not many.
And then there is psychological insanity, which is where most people function from in relationships of all kinds. Most people use judgments to create sexual excitement. Judgment is not a way to create an expansive world. It can only create a contractive one. Does that help?
My whole body is a struggle now. The energy is all messed up.
That's why we are running this. We've got to straighten out your body so that you can have greater ease with them. Everything you choose in life. This teleclass is to get you to a place where you can have ease with being a female, ease with choosing to act like a male, ease with creating as a male does, and ease with creating as a female does. But you can function as both. It's whatever you choose, whenever you choose it, and create ease with that, not a struggle with it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So right now, most of you are struggling for or against one side or the other. Is that correct? Which doesn't give you total choice. If you're struggling with being a man or being a woman, if you're struggling with judgments with a man or with a woman, wondering if it could have been different, then are you having ease or are you limiting your choices? You get it? Nothing in this reality is about choosing and creating a sexual identity and reality. It's about buying into everything you are told and sold, everything out there in the world that tells you this is how it's supposed to be. Everything that is really destroy and unfair zone.
Yes.
Life only that, but for online shorts, boys and beyond. Okay? So I think this is as far as we will go today because we've actually gone into a lot of directions. So any questions that you have right now? Like I said, we're going to be continuing Monday onwards, Monday to Friday. If you want to join in, you're welcome to join in, read the rest of the book. And it's not going to be fun at all. We're not going to be talking about interesting stuff. We're not going to be doing fun things that will change your relationships totally. But if you start to function from a different reality with men and women, if you start to function from a different space and a different point of view, other than what you've been doing till now, I wonder what would be different. I wonder what kind of a world we could create that would be different and greater relationships, greater contributions. Varsha,
Yeah, I have a question.
yeah.
We just discussed earlier that we can't change a man, or we can't expect for someone to change.
Hmm.
So it's never going to be perfect like we thought.
Yeah, perfection is a lie. It's a
Yeah.
distractor.
So why would a person leave the partner if some part of it is working and some part of it is not working?
Correct.
Why would a person leave the friendship or the marriage or any kind of partnership, any kind of relationship?
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
As an infinite being, do you actually need anything or you do it for choice? Because it's fun for you, because it's contributive to you, because it creates greater for you and for them. When you're together, you can create greater than when you're alone. So I actually put two things together. So I was going to ask you, how many times do you choose something just for the fun of it?
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
But when you're
Yeah.
doing, I need to have this, then does it work for you?
No.
Because there you've just created a need which is already a necessity. And when you
Yeah.
get into need, you get desperate, you have to have it, as if it doesn't happen, then something very, very bad is going to happen. You might even die.
Yes.
It feels like that. So if you're doing a relationship with need, then you've already gone into a judgment. There's no question there. And you've made yourself less, you've diminished yourself. Would an infinite being need anyone?
Okay.
But if you function from, okay, if I am together with this person, can we create greater together than when we are alone? And to get a yes to that, we could be in that relationship now. And is that choice? Then you're doing it out of choice, correct?
Yeah.
Not doing it out of need.
I got you now.
And you can lose that relationship too. You don't have to stick on. But if you're doing need, then even if it's not working for you, then you have to stick to it. How many of you are sticking to relationships as if they go away, oh my God, you won't exist? That is you functioning from need. How's that working for you? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes. Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay? Right? So I can take one last question if anyone else has a question. Varsha, did that help?
Yes, a lot.
Awesome. So anybody else have a question? No. Okay, cool. It was nice having all of you here. I hope we changed some stuff today. You can use these hearings, what we did today, to change stuff for you. And yeah, anybody else
Thank you.
contribute to, let me know. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.